to Be Yourself podcast. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be like the promising moment of the year for this podcast. Everybody has an opinion. Some people have more direct opinions than I do, and they make them known very often, and sometimes with great speed they do so. So I've decided that if I'm going to be myself, I'm going to say what's on my mind, and truly, I'm going to venture out on a cliff and say this. To be yourself is to ask thousands of people just to stop and listen for 5 minutes, which is a challenge, truly, in itself. For anybody to stop and actually listen takes great agility, great understanding, and nobody wants to listen. Now, today is August 31st, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of people talking about the primary elections for 2024. There's going to be a lot of people talking about how big these elections means and all these indictments and legal battles going on in Washington. And I'm going to say, fuck off, because I don't give a fuck about them. Yes, this is a very straightforward be yourself, but I don't care about the election. I don't care about the government because the government is fraud. They have frauded the American people out of a bunch of money. They continue to do so, and they continue to politicize the conduct of our current president. Yes, I am talking President Donald Trump and our current president, former, current former President Donald Trump and our current president, Mr. Joseph R. Biden. I wish that the media had a replay machine to see how they criticize Trump when he was in office to how they go after Joe Biden when he's in office. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? The continuity of being true to oneself, it's often so hard to do in a mixed up, publicly politicized world we live in. Ladies and gentlemen, I really hate to say this, but if our government is forfeited our rights to China or Russia, or has signed over our freedoms to that country, we need to know about it. Honestly, it is a fact. It does affect us. Now, at no point in time have I ever supported or made any claims to the fact that I support the former president, Donald Trump, or the current president, Joseph R. Biden. And I have to ask myself, what is the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans? And when I ask myself that question, I get another question. What is the difference between President Putin and Joe Biden? There is none. See, the truth, if said, would ruin the presidential election. That's something they don't want. The government does not want to ruin the election, but they're not following the law that has been laid out very clearly. I've seen YouTube videos of police officers breaking the law, and continuously so because they think they can. They think because they're cops, they can. I hate to say this, and I really don't like saying this, but is it blind to believe that we cannot do one thing right for our country? 10 years ago, I would have called out every president till now. I would have called out every president, and I still will. I would call out Abraham Lincoln. I would call out Kennedy's. I would call out Clinton. I'd call out all the presidents that sat in that chair and have done nothing to help this country except wheedle away at our foundation of law and order. And the corrupt system of justice that we are so clearly happy to uphold is not being upheld in the eyes of me. Be yourself. Well, this is me being me. I'm going to say this, and I really don't care for the backlash or the firing or the return fire of it, but let's just put it in perspective. If your president was a man for the people, then he would turn himself in. If you're a son of a president, you don't do what this current president's son is doing and try to get a blanket away from justice. You don't try that. Another thing is, if you are gay and you love someone, you should respect the fact of those people that are that way. I found a lot of comments, hyphen comments, that I would like to address. One of them came from a guy who made a comment. I didn't respond because it wasn't right. But me being me, I'm going to tell you what. I love guys. I don't have a problem talking about the Pride movement. I don't have a problem with people seeing it, hearing it, or looking at it through my eyes. My podcast, my blog, my life, my rules. I've done this to help people. I continue to do this to help people. Those who don't want help are those who sit in the shadows and say, that can't happen. Those who don't want help are those who sit in a room and talk of life after liberty, or love after peace, or they say that everything that we say does not matter. No, that's false. Okay, that's a false narrative. That's a incorrect thing to think, because life continues to happen. The first man to gain warp speed of a factor of 1 is going to get recognized in the history books. And that has been proven, not just by me, but by a lot of people. The first man to touch down on the opposite side of the moon is going to get recognized. So, policy, freedom of rights, choice, religion, all come together in that shape. They mold us into who we are. And they write the story. It's not just a story of us or of them or of you. It's a story of all of us. When we look at the way this country is turned, it is not too hard to believe that there is another war coming. Not a second world war, a third world war. A gamble at peace, a gamble for freedom, a gamble for life, a gamble which could cost us a lot. So, do I think there's a chance? Yeah, there is. I think the chance is better off than what's going to happen in the next 10 years. Of course, by the time I hit retirement age, this opinion will be proven. They're sending people to the International Space Station. They're sending people to the moon. They're sending people on longer missions every time we turn around. And see, my issue with this thing, my honest issue with this is, why don't we build a starship? Why don't we build a ship where we can go on missions. Why don't we figure out how to make warp drive a possibility? Why don't we think about doing what every other country is doing and speed us up? We already have Bluetooth, we already have touchscreen phones. Why not use the ability and do what Star Trek brought us to do? Nowadays, it's very likely that the people will be the foundation for the next peace of mind in America and around the world. See, I believe everybody should have respect, love for all people. I believe that America was founded on that, and I believe it stands to be reasonable that if we do not adjust our course and direction, we will end up in a war, not unlike centuries ago when we had the Second World War, which claims a lot of life, took a lot of things away from people who never had those things. See, my issue have uh, they don't have the mindset to understand that what they're taking is our life, is our freedom. That's a powerful thing when you think about it. The freedom of choice is always been questioned. Which one would you question? Better yet, which one should we all be looking at to question? I listen to Star Trek, and I really do honestly believe that the power of the word is more powerful than anything in this world that's going to change this world. As a person, I believe that the Pride movement is only a leaping stone from what we all have to see. I believe that with one touch or with one action, it could all change. See, people sit there and they say, well, that can't happen. And I have to say this, but those people that say that haven't seen it happen. They say it can't, but in reality, and reality being what reality is, it can. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to be myself and tell you that the man I marry is the man I'm going to spend the rest of my life with and love. And, I really do love him a lot. And I want the best for both of us. And that's why I think having a business is going to be the best for both of us. See, I know what people try. I know the games. They say they're going to give you something, but they don't. They say they're going to do something, but they don't. They say they want to do something, but they don't. They say it's going to be fine. You're going to get it, but you don't get it. See, I know those people. There's people like that in America. There's people like that all over the world. But they want you to give them something that they never asked, that you actually never really got from them. They want you to give them money. Wow. Isn't that a coincidence? The most powerful thing in this world, everybody wants some, and the people who say they're going to give it don't actually do it. Which is why I think they're pawn scum. I think they're low-life degenerates. I think they live on saying something but never actually doing it. I call them liars. I call them hypocrites. Why? Because when you say you're going to do something, you do it. This is be yourself. You want to do something? You want to help people out? You want to give them money? You want to support them? When you say you're going to do something, don't play around, just do it. This podcast, just like every other one, is going to have a title. This one was Be Yourself. So if you can't be yourself, then leave me alone. If you're my friend and you say, well, I'm going to help you, and you don't, leave me alone. Stop faking me out. Stop putting on bullshit to try and get me all hyped up and excited. I don't need it. It's not a need for me. I have a necessity. I don't have a need. I have a necessity to do what I need to do to live my life for me and my future and the future I have with that special someone. Yeah, I'm pretty much telling people who play me, don't ever talk to me again. I've been nice. I will not be nice anymore. Fakes, cronies, people who say they're going to give me stuff, I don't want it. Not unless it's real, and not unless they're really going to give it to me. Because all you are is a bunch of hot air. And that's the truth. I hope you guys have fun. And remember, love is love. And there is no sexual orientation about it. Love who you want. Be who you are. And wait for the greatest moments of your life. They're still to come. Happy Thursday, everybody. And I hope you all have a wonderful August 31st. Good night.